Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Dune Spice Wars. This is a game that recently released from Steam's Early Access program, and you can find it for about $35 or so. This game was created and published by the same folks that did Northgard. I believe they're Shiro games. Northgard is an okay 4X game. I had high hopes for it, and then lately it's disappointed me because of all the bugs that have been inherently plaguing it. There's black screen on load, there's freezing in multiplayer. Hopefully they fixed it by now, I have not checked, but Northgard really has turned me off lately. So I apologize if I go into this with a little bit of skepticism. So in Dune, and this is a science fiction theme that I know nothing about. I've never read the books or watched the movies. So, yeah, I know. I'm one of those nerds that haven't seen Dune, I'm sorry, or read the books. But you're going to be able to play a single-player match. It's either going to be like you can set up a 4-player game or a 1v1 player game, or you can play Conquest. Apparently, the developers promised a campaign and instead gave everyone a conquest mode, which is just a series of skirmishes. So it's being review bombed right now on Steam, so you've got mixed reviews, as opposed to its very positive from before launch. So you'll be able to choose between different victories like you can in Northgard. It's a top-down, move units around the map, control territories kind of thing. There's like domination, hegemony, political, economic, and assassination victories. Kind of like in a typical 4X game that you might see, but this is all real-time, like a real-time strategy game, although it plays more like Northgard than a typical real-time strategy game. There are also 6 different houses, although 4 of which are only available in Conquest mode, which is kind of, I don't know why. Maybe it has to do with balance. I'm not sure. But in single player, like just skirmish or multiplayer skirmish, you can be one of the 6 houses. And they each have their own bonuses, faction bonuses. They even have these advisors that you can pick between and give yourself even more bonuses. There's AI in this game, and there's easy, normal, hard, and insane, or something like that. Unfortunately, unlike Northgard, you can't pick like particular biomes. Like, it's always going to be this sandy desert, which thematically it makes sense, but it's also limiting. So the UI takes some getting used to. In the bottom left-hand corner, if you select your main city, you'll be able to eventually build these upgrades like districts. And by completing sets of districts, like if you put 2 yellow in these 2 slots, or 3 red in these 3 slots, or 1 blue in this slot, you unlock even more bonuses to the right. In the upper left-hand corner, you're going to be seeing your your spice mining production. And spice is important because you're going to be told to pay it every so often, and you have to keep the spice flowing. There's also a Chome market. I don't know what that is. I believe it's it's like a market. I don't know the books. Like I said, I don't know Dune very well, but it looks like some kind of stock market where you're going to buy low, sell high kind of thing. And that's one of the ways you can win, just by buying low, selling high, and getting enough shares to win. There's also various resources. You've got Solari, which is like coin. You've got this plasticine, fuel cell, manpower, water, authority. You've got different influence and standing among the different factions. There's also hegemony victory. Just that's like how powerful you are. It's kind of like, I believe it's like honor or whatever in Northgard. So just by like taking land and becoming more powerful, you'll eventually increase that to the point where you'll win. There's also science and research in this game. There's 4 different trees. Each faction has some unique talents or skills that you can research. Again, played Northgard, you'll know that each faction has a unique set of bonuses, and some of these bonuses involve unique skill tree picks, which is kind of cool. I like that. There's also a council, kind of like in a typical 4X game. There's a voting process, and you can spend your votes and you can spend influence points as you've been earning them to sway the council one way or another on various topics. And then there's like spy stuff where you can gain intel, you can assign your spies to like counterintelligence, you can assign them to different factions in order to gain various bonuses. There's even missions that you can partake Some will, hurt the enemy. Some will open the door for other things. There's even an assassinate option, which you have to be far enough into the game to unlock it, but you can actually unlock an assassinate countdown. And from my understanding, that is another way that you can win the game. I've not done that. I've won my game via hegemony, which has just become as powerful as possible. But yeah, all of that is kind of cool. And you can even see, using the screen, what your opponents are up to, what kind of resources they have, and so on and so forth. Like I said, the game is broken up into multiple territories, a la Northgard, and you're going to train units and move them into areas to attack cities. You're also going to be using harvesters to mine spice out of the ground. Again, spice is super important because you're going to be asked to sort of pay the government or whatever it's called on a regular basis. And there's a slider that you can adjust on the upper left. It's a yellow-purple slider, so you can sell some spice for profit, but keep some in reserve to pay your tax or whatever. I like that. That's kind of cool. And I love the whole city upgrade section where you can put down various upgrades and gain benefits from that. Typically, though, I found myself just selecting a bunch of units that I've trained, attacking a neutral city, and they'll send some guys out to stop me. I will say the combat, it's kind of lackluster in the way it's presented. It's just a bunch of guys just going through the animations. I mean, it's 2023. I was hoping for a bit more than that. I mean, even StarCraft, I'm just saying, of ye old days, does a little bit of a better job there, I think. But yeah, so once you've eliminated all the opposition, you can capture that territory, but you have to spend, I believe it's authority to do it. Authority is kind of like food in Northgard, you have to capture territory in Northgard via food. Well, authority in this game is the same thing. You earn authority over time, and by gaining authority, you can use that authority to capture land. There's also points of interest on each of these different lands, and you can send units over to sort of capture them and gain bonuses like free money. There's some free intel. There's some authority. If you've even started doing the whole spy thing, you can use your spy knowledge to, instead of getting the default reward, you can wait a couple of days using your spies and your intel to gain some other kind of reward, which is kind of cool. I like that too. So it gives you an option to your reward, but you have to have spies dedicated to that particular intel tree. It's all pretty good. Now, as far as the military is concerned, luckily you don't have to send your units running from one end of the map to the other. You can actually train militia in the cities that you're capturing, and you do have a limited number of build slots as well. Some are military, some are economical, some are science related, and you can even spend intel to unlock more build slots, which I love. Some buildings are even a one-time civilization bonus, kind of like in Civilization, where you can only build the building one time, but it's a huge benefit, and it's really expensive to boot. But I really like it. You can put a missile battery down and then this economical building down, and if you're on the front line, you can spend intel to unlock another build slot, maybe put this other military structure down to increase your manpower. Manpower is used to regenerate your troops. Troops have this supply bar underneath their health, so it's very important that you not stay in enemy territory because you have to go back and replenish. They can even die if they're out of supply. Sandstorms and sandworms will erupt on occasion and completely mess up your troops. I recommend turning that on a low setting because sandworms could actually eat the majority of your troops if you get unlucky. That happened to me. I had them grouped up, ready to attack, and then it appeared and just ate half my troops. I had to sit there and wait, and wait for new ones to be spawned. The unit selection in this game is I mean, there's I want to say 7 units, some of which are people and some of which are mechs, and those mechs can't be unlocked until you get to a certain part of your tech tree. And you also need special resources like guild favor, I believe it is, in order to unlock and actually construct some of these mechs. So, as a whole, the game isn't bad, but like compared to Northgard had more customization options. Like I'm sitting there going, okay, with Northgard I can play like a 3v3. In this game it's like a 4-player max kind of thing. I can't set the map size. I can't set a number of things that I would normally be able to set in any sort of skirmish RTS skirmish game. You know, a lot of like Rise of Nations is how old? It's like a 20-year-old game, and it has so many factions and so many biome options and so many things that you could do. And this game is like limited in that regard. It's just unfortunate that it is the way it is. So like, I feel like there's a lot of good ideas here. Don't get me wrong. And the learning curve is somewhat, you know, steep. And I like a lot of what it does, but I'm like, well, where's the rest of it? For $35, that's like half, almost a quarter of the content in Rise of Nations. I'm just saying. And Rise of Nations is how old? So I know it doesn't look as good. I'm just saying, you know, compared to content. And there's also the whole Shiro Games thing where Northgard has bugs galore. I got frustrated with it and just turned it off. Shiro Games just isn't delivering on the bug fixes like they should be. They're more focused on releasing constant faction DLC packs. So, like, I don't know what to think. Like, I'm on the fence with this one. I'm not that invested in the Dune universe, to be honest with you. Like, I've never read the books. I've never read any. So I don't know how thematic this game really is compared to the books and the movies and stuff. I'm kind of interested. I want to keep playing it, but at the same time, other games deliver more content than this and offer more than this. But it does enough different things that it would warrant me coming back to it on occasion. So I'm hoping for more features, more AI, more customization options when setting up a game. Hopefully that comes later. Well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Take care.